In the blistering heat of a Texas summer afternoon in 1974, four perfectly reasonable people climbed into an unair-conditioned Buick and drove 106 miles round-trip through a dust storm. To eat a meal none of them wanted. They left the comfort of cold lemonade and Domino's on the back porch, endured scorching 104-degree heat, and returned home exhausted and miserable. What makes this story remarkable isn't the discomfort. It's that every single one of them privately preferred to stay home, yet not one of them said so. Picture the scene inside that car. Each person was thinking the same private thought. I really don't want to do this. But each one assumed everyone else was excited, so they smiled, agreed it was a great idea, and kept driving. Later, when they finally admitted the truth to one another, they discovered something astonishing. Nobody had wanted to go. They had each gone along only because they thought the others wanted it. This real-life family trip became the perfect parable for one of the strangest quirks in human behaviour, a phenomenon that quietly shapes decisions in families, boardrooms, governments, and organisations everywhere. This is the Abilene Paradox. On the surface, everything looks perfectly aligned, every arrow pointing in the exact same direction, as if the entire group is in complete agreement. But hidden inside each circle is a private truth. No one actually wants to move forward. The group is marching toward a decision that nobody truly supports. It is not conflict that destroys the outcome. It is the silent, collective mismanagement of agreement. The man who first named and explained this strange phenomenon was organizational psychologist Jerry B. Harvey. In 1974, he published a now classic paper titled The Management of Agreement in the journal Organizational Dynamics. Using his own family's uncomfortable trip to Abilene as the central parable, Harvey showed that organizations and people frequently take actions in direct contradiction to what they actually want. The real problem, he argued, is not the inability to manage conflict. It is the inability to manage agreement when that agreement is based on misperception and fear of speaking honestly. Harvey called this the mismanagement of agreement. On the left is what we usually fear: open conflict, shattered unity, everything falling apart in chaos. On the right is what actually happened in Abilene and what quietly happens in so many groups. Perfect surface-level agreement. Everyone appears aligned, everyone is moving forward together, yet the decision is one that nobody truly wants. The paradox is this: the very thing we try hardest to avoid, disagreement, is often less dangerous than the silent agreement we mistakenly create. At the heart of the Abilene Paradox lies a powerful psychological mechanism called pluralistic ignorance. Look at the diagram. Each person privately holds the same thought: no, I don't want this. But because no one speaks that truth aloud, every single person believes they are the only one who feels that way. So they publicly say, yes. They go along. They smile and nod. The result is a group that is completely united in doing something nobody actually supports. This silent mismatch between private belief and public behavior is what turns a simple family trip into a 106-mile journey no one wanted. Even when someone privately recognizes the mismatch, a powerful force holds them back. Harvey called it action anxiety. The moment a person considers speaking up, saying, actually, I don't want this, their mind floods with negative fantasies. What if I'm seen as difficult? What if I damage relationships or lose my place in the group? What if everything falls apart because of me? These imagined consequences feel so real and so threatening that staying silent suddenly seems safer. So the lock clicks shut. The true opinion remains hidden, and the group continues down the unwanted road. Beneath the action anxiety lies an even more primal fear: the fear of separation. Humans are wired for connection. The glowing cluster on the right represents the group: warm, safe, united. The single red button on the left is the individual who wants to speak honestly. The moment they consider stepping away from the false consensus, that deep, ancient dread surfaces. What if I'm left out? What if I'm judged? What if I lose my belonging? So they stay connected, even if it means traveling 106 miles to a place no one actually wanted to go. Once the Abilene Paradox begins, it often follows a predictable 5-step spiral. First, there is private agreement. Everyone privately feels the same reluctance. Second, people send false signals, publicly agreeing to something they don't actually support. Third, the group makes a collective error, taking action that no one truly wants. Fourth, when the unwanted outcome becomes clear, anger and blame erupt. And finally, instead of addressing the real issue, the cycle repeats, often with even greater intensity. It's important to understand that the Abilene Paradox is not the same as groupthink. Groupthink is high energy. People want to belong so strongly that they actually distort their own private views to match the group. The Abilene Paradox is quieter and lower energy. People retain their original private views but stay silent out of fear of rocking the boat and the inability to communicate honestly. In groupthink, minds change. In the Abilene Paradox, minds stay the same. Only the public behaviour does. This same silent spiral has played out in organizations with far greater consequences. In the Ozics Corporation's Research and Development Division, executives privately knew a major technology project was doomed. The wrong direction, a looming cash flow disaster. Yet each person assumed the others were fully committed, so they all approved continued funding. The result? Missed payrolls, massive layoffs, plummeting morale, and the company's prestige collapsed. Every leader had seen the same warning signs. None had spoken them aloud. The barriers of silence kept the group locked in a decision no one actually wanted. The same dynamic appeared at the highest levels of government. During the Watergate scandal, White House staff privately viewed the break-in and cover-up plan as illegal and almost certain to fail. But each person stayed silent, afraid of not being seen as a team player. They drifted along with the group decision. Herbert Porter, one of the participants, later testified, "I was not one to stand up in a meeting. I kind of drifted along." The cover-up proceeded, and the consequences unfolded exactly as the paradox predicts. And here lies the deepest paradox of all. We spend so much energy fearing disagreement, trying to keep everyone aligned, avoiding any hint of conflict. Yet the Abilene Paradox reveals something quietly profound. Agreement can be far more dangerous than conflict, when that agreement is based on silence, misperception, and fear. Groups do not usually fail because people fight. They fail because they silently collude to do what nobody actually wants. The road to Abilene is paved with good intentions and perfect surface agreement. The Abilene Paradox shows us how easily we can travel together toward destinations none of us truly chose. Understanding it doesn't guarantee we'll always speak up, but it does give us the clearest possible view of the hidden forces shaping our decisions. If this exploration of hidden human behavior left you with new questions about the way groups really work, hit the like button and let us know in the comments. Which real-life trip to Abilene have you witnessed? Thanks for watching. More mind-bending explanations of psychology, behavior, and the paradoxes that shape our world are coming soon.